And we're live.
What's up? It's your boy, John Darko Chapman, and we are here again, man. Running a little bit behind schedule and just all around today, just hustling and behind. It's been one of them days, y'all. Y'all probably gonna see me smoking a cigar and today. It's been one of them days. I swear. I just been this whole week has been interesting. That's all I can say. Sometimes we just got them days. So I hope you guys tune in. I know we got some ads up and stuff a little late in the day, but I'm sure some people is kind of straggle on in and getting the comments and all that kind of stuff. So until then, we'll get started. Of course, we got to my right,
Robert Graphite. It's nice to see everybody.
Left,
What's up in the pit?
Right,
yeah, right. It's point both ways. We got it.
Mr. Graphite, and we got a special guest today, y'all. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit as usual. We usually jump into just a couple current affairs and news and whatever's going on before we get started. Mm-hmm. And what is current affairs, man? What's going on?
As of right now, I don't even have a whole lot. We got, we got Twitter going on. We have Twitter getting taken over, which is interesting.
So what's up with that? Is Elon like?
He's basically.
Didn't they say he's not? Didn't they say he's not like fully?
So it's not the deal hasn't gone through all the way yet. So he's purchasing the platform. He's coming in, and we'll see what happens. Like it's going to be interesting. So we'll see what happens with what's going on behind the scenes. I guess he wants to be more transparent about what Twitter does. And
aren't they like fighting not to give him that control or something like that? I saw
there's not going to be anything that they can do about it. Once he owns it, he owns it. So if once it goes through and because he's taking it private, he's not even going to have it as a public company anymore. Though he's
completely buying Twitter. Completely.
Yes, he's purchasing
how much?
Twitter. Like 43 billion or something like that. I can't. Yeah, something goofy. I'm probably getting that number wrong. I'd look it up, but it's a lot. Like he's
just like all the world's troubles, bro. And like, I mean, it's somewhat important. I mean, social media is fueling the world technically, but like, god damn,
it's a lot. It's a
lot of money, bro.
It's a lot, and it's interesting too. Like just kind of on the photographer side, Twitter seems to be. Like it's becoming the place. I've heard a lot of people say that it's becoming the place for photographers. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, over top of Instagram, because Instagram's trying to kind of move away from photos. You know what I mean? It's more about content creation.
Well, it's not even like a lot of photographers hate Instagram just for the fact that Instagram ain't showing love to photographers no more.
Right.
It's a combination of like popularity and a dating app. That's really what Instagram's turning into.
It really is.
And it's crazy because photographers basically started it. Like the dudes who originally started it were like photographers or something like that, and yada yada.
Facts.
And like in the blueprint of how it started, and for it to go to that to hate on the people that created it, let alone you still need photographers in a sense as far as great content and stuff to come out of it, you know what I mean? But
that's facts.
But they hate them because I look at it's harder for a photographer to get a blue check mark.
Yep.
It's harder for a photographer to gain a huge following on it and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That is corny.
Yeah, they don't want to push us out. Like it's just a weird thing. So we'll see what happens. But Twitter, it's more about the interactions on Twitter. So you can build a following just by talking to people.
It's wild. I don't mess with Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter yet.
I post a picture You've never been on Twitter?
I've never been on Twitter.
I've posted pictures. I've posted a couple, and I don't get much interaction because I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. Like I might be on there like once a month. I went on there, when Elon purchased it just to see what's going on. But after that, I'm just not on there. You know what I mean? Twitter's just not my thing. It's not my. But from what I'm hearing, it might be a good place for photographers to go.
Yeah, I know. One of my assistants, I can't call him assistant no more. He's a dope photographer in his own right. I know Elliot. He's on there a lot, and he's part of a lot of groups and following stuff and a lot of cool stuff he does on there. And I know some models and stuff and whatever that like have bigger followings on there than they do on other platforms.
Interesting.
It's a lot of porn on there, I hear.
It doesn't have the same restrictions as other platforms, so it's different. It's a different is different, man. Like people say Twitter's toxic, but you know, it's a different environment than the other platforms. So
Gotcha. What's up to Ray Alvarez? What's going on, bro? Thanks for being the first on the show, sir.
Yes.
Big shout out. Is he out? I guess you're out in Florida right now.
Yeah,
I know he's in New York for a shoot or something. I'm going to Connecticut in a couple weeks. Yeah, that's all I can say. There's nothing in Connecticut. But yeah, man. So besides that, what other current affairs? Doctor Strange comes out this week.
Oh yeah, it's come out. Didn't it come out tonight?
Tonight, yeah. Shout out to J1 Studios, my boy Jason. We're gonna have him on the show soon too. Jason does freaking everything, anything nerd based. I guess you could say Jason does, from video games. He literally develops and builds video games.
Oh, nice.
Anime, comic books, holds the largest anime convention in Philadelphia. Kind of name it, he does it, and he has a new show on. And we'll try and put the link or something in there later. Try to shout out my boy. And I know he just went to a early premiere and review for critics. He's got the critic thing to go.
That's what's up.
So that's
what's up.
So yeah, he said it was pretty good.
I got high hopes for it, man. I'm really hoping it's good.
It's Marvel, and you know
they don't make trash.
It's going to disappoint. Yeah, it's not going to disappoint fully. You know?
Right.
Anyway, what else? What else is in there? What else is going on right now?
You had mentioned Netflix while we was talking.
You know what? Let's go back to NAB real quick before we get started with the show. We're going to start in a second because we got our guests waiting. I actually went back and looked at a bunch of stuff with NAB and what's going on. Atomos, bruh. What Atomos has coming out is very, very interesting if you do video and film. So they got a cloud service that can upload 6K footage fast. Like real fast. And so basically you can film, upload at the same time your 6K footage, and then be able to just to have it on the cloud and dump later without worrying about, you know, messy whatever. That's wild.
That's clean. Yeah.
That's if it, and from everything I'm seeing, it seems like it works as well as advertising. Usually when they try and pipe something like that, it never works. Yeah, because it's so much data. Like that's a whole lot to take in, but from everything I'm hearing, it does what they say it's going to do. So I'm quite excited about that. So yeah, man. So it was that some new Chinese camera that came out, some new Chinese company that basically made their own version of a red camera.
You know what? I did see that. It's
like an 8K camera and all this other stuff, but it's like dumb cheap. It's like only $5,000 or something like that. And I was like, what?
That'll be interesting.
Hey, if it worked, bro, I'll be like, hey. It was that. There's no new photography cameras like that right now. Nothing photography. It was all video right now.
No.
They had something new with the Sony Venice and something. They were all like just extra stuff. They're like firmware updates.
I saw some drone stuff. I feel like too, some new drone or something like that was coming. But yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of for current events right now. I'm pretty sure it's more. I just can't think of it. It's been one of those days. Man. So without further ado, let's get to the show. Run that intro, sir.
All right.
Hey,
what's happening?
And we got our boy on today. We have Mr. Sick Arlen himself.
My man.
Shout out show. That's my boy right there. Good people's man. Known him for a minute.
Thank y'all for having me.
What else can I say about this guy? He is a talented composite artist, photographer, music artist, graphic design artist. He works with celebrities, big time music artist and everything else in between, and has very, very amazing, awesome work. Also, his girlfriend, probably soon to be fiance. Did I say that?
Hmm.
I don't know. Is also an awesome model who I've worked with in the past as well, and we're probably going to have her on the show, her own separate interview. Riza's the bomb, and Riza does a bunch of things as well. She does podcast and hosting a bunch of stuff, and talented model and petite model at that, but amazing at all that she does. Absolutely love Riza to death. So yeah, man. Without further ado, what's up, bro?
What's up? What's up, man? It's good to be here, man.
What's going on, man?
I'll be like humbled when people be running this down. I'll be like,
well, you definitely have earned it, sir. You definitely have earned it, man. Your work is bomb, bro. I remember I forget how I first ran into you. I think it was just on like like Facebook groups and all the usual kind of stuff, and or whatever. Somehow just, connections of other photographers and people on social media as kind of how I first saw your work. And I remember seeing your stuff and going, this stuff look like my stuff. And I was like, we do something kind of similar. And then just over time, I was seeing more and more of your work, and more. I was like, I hate him. And then it kind of grew from there. And then, and then I got to meet you, man. And then it kind of spawned from there. And then you started dating Riza. And it went from there, man. Been good ever since. But yeah, man, just talented. I would say Six, one of the only people I know in Philly. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but that I've met that we do similar kind of work. We work we do composite work and stuff for album covers, movies, and posters, whatever, all kinds of ad stuff and things like that, and just trying to do really creative stuff, and then especially really creative stuff within like especially Black and urban market, just as much as regular and everything else. So he's talented dude, man. Ain't nothing more I need to say than that. So without further ado, man, we would like you, if you could, just tell a little bit about just how you got started in all of this. That I don't know. How did you get into everything and being a photographer?
So for me, I used to think I was going to be just drawing all my life, like drawing pictures and stuff like that. Like, because I sketched all day long. That's all I used to do. I didn't really think about a camera until probably 2004. Well, no, 2005-ish.
Oh, wow.
Sorry for my dog going crazy in the back. Sorry.
What is that little? What is that? That's not a dog. It's a rodent.
Say hello.
Come here, Spike.
Oh, jeez.
Because like I was kind of beefing with my mom at one point in time, and I was just hanging out at my homie house, and me being in his basement, his cousin kept coming by and just literally seeing me playing the game or literally drawing all the time. And he was just like, yo, bro, you think you could do this logo for me? I had never did a logo a day in my life, but he told me what he wanted. I drew the logo. Next thing I know, he was just like, yo, I want you to come with me to this place. He was a rapper, this boy named Cre8ive Pit. Rest in peace to him, because he definitely passed not long ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Sure, man. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
But he took me to this place on 25th of Oakdale. No lie, I thought he had set me up to like rob me or something. It was like this crazy looking crib outside. Like it looked like a crack. And he was just like to go in this crack house. And I'm like, but when I went inside of the house, it wasn't fucked up on the inside that how it looked on the outside. And it was like this photography studio, but boy was keeping it super low on the block. Made it on purpose. I met this guy named Ed. He used to go flash photography.
Oh wow, sorry to hear, man.
Jesus. But when I went in there, it was like all these like foreign models and stuff. Like, and it's like, this is the hood. This is North Philly in the hood. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I was like blindsided. I was like, bro, but what you do, but like, I really want to try this out. Like, And he kind of gave me a video camera, so I started out with video first.
Interesting.
From the video stuff, he just like kind of like started blindsiding me with stuff because I was doing like a lot of like almost like, oh, what was that? What's the nightlife photography? Like that's what I was doing.
Okay. Shoot like clubs and stuff and all.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how I found how so many photographers started off that way.
Yep.
A lot of photographers started off. And this is a good way to start, man, because you got to learn so much so fast to get good and figure it all out. So,
but he put me into like that little, wheelbarrow and stuff. I'm like going to fashion shows. I'm going to like just all of this stuff, like meeting all these artists and things like that. Because he was like a really moving guy, out there, bigger than life personality. So he just drew people in all the time. But his one day I came in to just like because like I was kind of like being his like understudy, whatever. That was like my mentor. So one day he was just like, yo, here, you gotta do the CD cover. And I was just like, what do you mean I gotta do a CD cover, bro? Like like what? Like, mind you, like my Photoshop skills was like high school only. It was like I did Adobe like 7 or something.
it was like Adobe Magic or something back then.
Oh geez. No, Photoshop 7. I remember that's where where I started Photoshop.
I go and I'm like, all right, bet, like I'm gonna just try it out. And like I did a CD cover for this dude's named Ace and Beto or something like that. And once I did that same rapper dude that introduced me to him also introduced me to this other dude named LJ, Strictly Graphics, right? Strictly Graphics just started making me logos. Like I got the name Sick because of me doing logos. Like I had from like doing 0 to like literally like 50 in like the next week.
Oh wow.
They just jump started me, tossed me out there. Next thing I know, I was on Cre8ive for like doing all of these, like, cause I did like hella rappers logos. Most of the stuff in the city that was like out in like, I want to say like 2006, 2008, I had flooded. Like all those t-shirts and everything, Fly Boys, Goonie Gang, all of the little DVD rapper boys had all of that. But Cosmic Kev had me on the show for the Come Up show when it was like kind of newer, and they gave me a little shout out on the radio, and that kind of spun a lot of things for me, man. Like all of my stuff has always been like very word of mouth. Like I meet you, you introduce me to some person, and then like the relationship just super builds out of nowhere. Cause like I try to be a genuine person. I don't switch up like at all. Oh yeah, good stuff. That's good stuff.
We're gonna be featuring a lot of your stuff as we go through this.
Hey, like even with that, like I was doing music. I was in this group called Blind Gang, and I met Vert on South Street. Like,
for those who don't know, this is Lil Uzi Vert. This is a cover he did for him.
Yeah, that was like his first big album. That was for Love Is Rage. Well, of course, y'all know how Lil Uzi now he up there. But a lot of people, like, I took that picture on myself and my mom. But I used to style him. We used to style him, and like we created like what is his look, like his dreads and all, color of his hair, and even when he went on tour with Wiz Khalifa and Fall Out Boy, Wiz ended up dyeing his hair purple or green or something because he had a strand out, and like because Uzi did the color hair thing, and we were big for the color hair thing, it became a thing that Wiz did, and Uzi is the reason that I got to the Wiz Khalifa. And Wiz Khalifa stuff was, I don't know. It's like I got into their little wheelhouse, and they kind of just branched me off to like weird stuff. I was doing stuff for like Teen Mom shows.
What?
It's been weird. Like I meet a person, I don't know what they do, and then they give me something. I get like a low celebrity client out of the randomest places. I got to do Eddie Chambers, who was like heavyweight champion of the world at one point in time, and it was just on some random, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
My homie Bach, that like top right picture or whatever. He's like big as hell right now, good big EDM artist, and like we were all in the same music group together, and he just kept growing. He made his little stamp with Jalil Beats. Jalil Beats kind of got him to Steve Aoki. Steve Aoki got him up out of here. You know what I mean? So shout outs to him. Like
Nice.
all of these pictures, even in this little group right here. What's funny is like my reference photos was like cell phone photos. The reason that I started doing photography, to be honest, because my homie who put me down to like, start doing photography or whatever, start doing the CD covers, he wasn't taking the pictures the correct way. Like it would have to be like a story or something that had to be told, and he would just take the picture as like any kind of picture, like, and it wouldn't add up for what I had to composite. And the composite.
Oh, I know those days.
Huh?
I said, I know those days, sending terrible pictures, and you like,
those are tough,
bro.
What am I supposed to do with this?
What am I gonna do with these pictures? But that's really what gave me my start in photography, because I didn't want to do that. I didn't have any kind of thought process toward photography in the least. Like,
So in the beginning, like when you were younger and a kid, like you were looking to be more of an illustrator or graphic design, or
I was big on comic books. I was big on comic books, and I was big on like
as we all were.
All movies, comic books were like my entire life, bro. So like all my artwork was like pen drawn and dark and super shadowy and stuff like that. And I thought I was going to be like a comic book artist or like maybe an animator, but I didn't want to draw like on that large. You know how like they got like that repetition stuff. I wasn't with it. But I
did, drawing 1,000 pictures to
yeah,
get
for
one
like
second.
animation. Yeah, the first time I tried that, I was like, nope, not me.
I
Can't do it.
I went to school for animation, and it was 2D animation is not my thing. Nope.
Nah, I don't have the patience for that. There's no
That's
way
too
in
much.
the world.
You have to love drawing on a different level to be an animator. It's like those people who just love to sit there and draw and draw and draw. Yeah,
bro, illustrations enough, because you think about it this way. Average comic book is like 17 to 19 pages, right? Per page is anywhere from like 6 to 9 panels, right? Then maybe a splash page here and there, whatever. All right, so add that up. That's 7 times, let's say average 7 times 17. You gotta draw all that. It ain't fun, bro.
It ain't.
You know what I mean? And me and Sick have a lot of same background. So I started off in comic books. That's how I got into everything that I did in graphic design and kind of the same route. And I got lucky. I this might be before your time, Sick. So the comic book store down on South Street used to be owned by a guy named Martin King. He's one of the owners, I should say. And Martin used to draw for DC Comics. He drew stuff for everything from like the Death of Superman to a lot of stuff for DC. And a lot of the what was the spinoff from DC Comics? It was the Night,
was it Dark Horse?
Dark Horse, yeah. And he drew a lot of stuff for them. So I myself, shout out to my boy Carrie, a couple friends. We kind of all went under his wing, and he saw that we were really good illustrators, and so he started kind of apprenticing us. And then we started like inking for him, and like, you know, the whole transition to how you do with comic books and stuff.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, I get it, man. And I was young, man. I was like 17, 18. And at the time, you know, you're a knucklehead. You don't see the opportunity that you're given. And instead it's like, I'm in the house drawing. All my friends is outside chasing girls. This is some bullshit. Right. And so, you know, I quickly transitioned out of that and got into funny, just like Sick. In the film. So yeah, man,
it's interesting. It's interesting how many
film never fought with me, bro. Like I love the scenes, I love the lighting, I love all of that, but I could not it's like it like never resonated with me.
Hmm.
But like I have so much respect for it because I love film. Like I really do. Like I watch movies all day long, or I'm just listening to them while I'm working and stuff like that. Like, all my art and all of the ways that I shoot is like I want to convey a feeling, like more or less than like just like, oh, this is a product, oh, this is this. You know what I mean? Like I want to, like, ultimately, like if I could just like design movie covers all day long, I would. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like, like that would be like.
I'm working on something soon where that might be possible, sir.
I'm out here, bro. I'm with that. I'm with that. Like
the one thing I'll say that's different. I don't know fully how everything works with the album covers. I've done a few in my time. Usually, I just get paid up front for it, and that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's different with the movie covers is you get points for it based off of the film, how many times it's shown, and a lot of different other stuff. So usually you get points based off of the gross of the film itself, right? So let's say you might only get like 1, 2, 3 points, right? Not a lot, but which translates sometimes to even less of a percentage, right? But let's say you did the poster for like Avengers, you know what I'm saying, Endgame, right? 0.4% or whatever is like almost a mil. You know what I'm saying? So it changes.
See,
Changes
I like
things
those,
a bit.
I like those things.
Yeah, so it's interesting how it goes, but yeah, it's fun. I have heard and seen some people who have gotten royalties off of album covers.
So,
I have seen that.
So it depends. It depends on how your setup is and like if you got like an entertainment lawyer or anything like that. But like more for the most part, you want to try and either work out a good lump sum percentage of like you know what you're getting paid up front, or if you're working out the percentages like I did a thing for Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa for the tour. I did like 2 hours of work. I got paid like $5 grand.
Nice.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Like a flyer, and that joint went like viral. It was people like cut it out. They had like the heads of the things I drew. Radio station like turned into like video for like the. It's weird when you do like a flyer that you don't really think nothing of, and then that turns into like the whole basis of a show. Like you didn't know that you were curating the show.
Yeah, that much of an influence. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm in the house. I'm in West Philly, just drawing up on the screen and whatnot. You know, busting it down on the Wacom, and the next thing I know, like I send that off, and then like 2 days later, it's just like it's a whole show. It's tickets, it's flyers, T-shirts. Like, damn, this is weird. Even the people who like be boosting it. Like I had mad people like at that show like take my art, put it on shirts that weren't commissioned by the show.
Oh wow!
You said they just stealing the art,
bro. It's wild. Like a boy like walking trying to sell me a shirt that got my art.
You made.
Wait, hold up, man. I could make this if I wanted to right now.
Just be kind of looking like it's like flattery, but it's also like I did get.
I should.
No, like
I should probably get more money for this.
Same way that happened with the Lil Uzi thing. I went online and like people would be like, "Oh man, I see you everywhere," and like they like start sending me like clothing that was made, and I was just like, I don't have nothing to do with this clothes.
That's actually a good question. Like, how do you feel about it when when that kind of thing happens, when somebody takes your stuff and kind of
certain things, bro? I am very like, I'll do the like cease and desist letter type thing. But you can't catch it all, you know what I mean? And the way that they structure certain things, it's almost like a lot of these print companies are third party. So they're like the place that hosts the spot, but the person who put the artwork up, they don't have a clue who it's coming from.
Yeah.
So they're not doing their due diligence, and then it's like most of these companies kind of stuff, and it's like you don't really got
right.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of times I tell you, you know, everybody's like, well, you should watermark and do some kind of watermark. And I'm like, bro, it's
It's not
so
worth it.
much stuff out here. There's
You know
no
how
way
easy
you
it
can catch it.
Right. It's not worth it. And it doesn't do anything. Like anybody who's worth their salt can take your freaking watermark off.
is. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's nothing. It's really literally nothing. I can take a watermark off in like 2 seconds. Like,
Right.
Yeah, man. Like especially once you get like overseas, you get in like Asia and India, certain areas and so forth, even South America. It's like, bro, your stuff just gone. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Just get paid for it up front and call it a day. Just,
and that's how you gotta like take these things, man. Like it's like certain things are either an opportunity or certain things are money. It's just like if I when I started working with Taylor Gang, I could have been like just the opportunity person and never broke my mind or got paid. You know what I mean? But I did like one thing for them up front for free. Like that was the post up cover for Wiz and Ty Dolla $ign. That got me like a 6-year run with them after that. You know what I mean? Where I was getting paid for everything.
Now, question. I always hear that artists, like when you do work and you're dope for artists, they try not to put you out there. Like they try and keep you to themselves. Does that happen to you or?
Bro, that's the part of the game. Like that's how you know you're good. Like
Yeah.
You will know you're good if they are hiding you. If they aren't hiding you, it's because you're not that great. Like literally. Like I have so much stuff out here, and like earlier you guys were talking about how it's hard for photographers to get their blue checks. The way that you get a blue check mostly is like the amount of interviews that you have where your name is mentioned and things like that. That's like the trial by fire of what they check for in order to be like, oh yeah, we can verify you. There are people with low numbers who just have way more placements of like their name out there in certain articles and things like that, which is what
Translates over.
Yeah.
Blue check.
You can hire companies to do that too. Like
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Like, real thing. You know what I mean? I really want the real thing. I've had stuff be on blogs, like, bro, like for even just that 6-year run, I had artwork everywhere. I even had a billboard in California that I didn't know about until somebody told me. That same artwork turned into tattoos on actual people.
Oh wow.
Like that's a weird feeling, and it's just like because like sometimes it doesn't always translate into your life. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I'm still doing this and I'm still doing this, and like even though I'm grateful for certain opportunities, you're like, damn, like should I have taken the exposure and got my name out there, or should I took the check that I took, because like bills still gotta get paid. You know what I mean?
Bills gotta get paid.
Wait a second, I'm going way off topic here for a second, because I didn't realize. I'm looking in the private chat real quick. Kevin Samuels died?
Yeah, bro.
Possibly.
What?
It's not confirmed yet, but yeah, that's what I've been hearing today.
I'm on Twitter like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I
just
moved
found
by
back up.
something real quick, and I was like, it looked like some trash. I was like, that's nothing.
Yep.
What? From what? What? Does anybody know anything?
Heart attack or something is what they said. Like they found him unresponsive apparently.
He's only like 50, right?
Yeah, he's not that old. He's 50 something. Seemed like he was in good shape too.
Yeah, like I don't know. He had a lot of haters, bro, on a whole other level.
So Twitter going crazy on that man right now.
Oh, I bet. See, that's the thing that Twitter's good for. Like you find that kind of stuff out quick on Twitter.
Yeah, when
I gotta get Twitter.
FX Tentacion died, that shit was Twitter. Everybody who died, like it'd be right on Twitter first.
Yep. Twitter
like,
is
TMZ don't even have it. You just be like,
yeah. Twitter's a news site. In fact, people go to Twitter to get the breaking news, like and then bring it out. Because it was literally a tweet like that. That's where it came from about Kev.
That's wild, yeah.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant, when he passed,
Twitter
had it first. TMZ didn't even confirm it yet.
Man, Kevin Samuels, though, that's like a whole nother thing, though, man. Especially because, like, you know, I mean, the topics of what he talked about and stuff, and how it, you know, ain't woke culture and all this other stuff, and it's just like this stuff's getting goofy out here, man. It's getting real goofy out here, bro.
Like to me, I'll play devil's advocate. It's good topics, but sometimes he was just being like, I don't want to say harsh, but like a person who is used to speaking in a manner in which they are used to speaking will talk to every single person on level, and they don't care about how you're coming towards them. This is who they are. This is what they expect.
I agree with that to an extent, and I ain't even gonna get into like the whole fallacies of our culture right now, blah 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 blah. Because I think everybody's kind of freaking coddled right now. But but regardless, like at this point, like you know who he is,
right?
So any woman or whoever that's coming on the show, you know what he gonna do,
right?
So you coming on for it. It's an entertainment at this point. You know why you coming on the show, right?
That's facts,
right? That hence why Nicki Minaj and all these other big celebrities are starting to be on it. Was starting to be on his show, and all this other stuff. Like you knew what it was.
He just
you can't sit here and go like, oh, that's what you get. Like really, like, but that was the entertainment. That's no different than a Bill Maher or a who was the guy everybody used to hate back in the day, the white guy from Fox News.
Glenn Beck or
not Glenn Beck, the other before way back.
Who? Geez, I don't know. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
John,
you know
Stossel?
I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Before them, anyway. Point is, like that's what they do. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on right now. But I hope that's not the reason why.
Here serves the purpose, whether it's to rub you wrong or boost you up. Like, and everybody ain't everybody cup of tea. I could be on here right now and there'll be 30 people who agree with me and 30 people who don't. Like, this is what it is. Like, you can't. There's no way to
make everybody happy.
It's impossible. It's impossible. You got to stay like hot, like, whatever it is.
And honestly, like the more people dislike you, a lot of times, like the more attention you get anyway. Like it's it's a thing. Like people love looking at things that they hate. I never understood how much attention, like as much attention as Kevin got. It's like if you hate the dude, turn it off. But you don't.
Exactly. No publicity is bad publicity in these days.
That's how I feel. I'm with it. I'm with it.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's get back into it. I'm sorry to derail the subject real quick. That just shocked me. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was kind of. I was like, man.
So one thing I wanted to talk about also, man, and this is where you and Rob fall into a lot of the same spectrum is color, and how you guys play with color and the way that you guys do what you do is very, very interesting, man. So I'll kind of let y'all powwow on this, but tell us a little bit about this shot and just like how you kind of use color and some of the stuff that you do, because I've seen a lot of your work, man. And one thing I like about yours specifically is like you kind of go for this very prism kind of look, right, of color between like really splashes of different color kind of all over your subjects, and it creates just a very unique look that like as soon as I see it I go, oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's
So there's so many people that are really good at the stand, and I really struggled on finding a signature. Like I said, I am very much influenced by horror movies, specifically 70s and 80s horror. Their cover art and stuff like that, very bright, dramatic with the colors for this. What movie was this?
I can actually see that in this. This does look. I feel that 80s horror vibe in this image right here.
Literally took. I cannot remember what movie it is. It's like a weird science. And I took the color scheme that was in there, and I was just like, I'm gonna apply this to this because it had to look like an exciting moment was happening. So I needed this yellow to come from the bottom. I needed this pink to, like, illustrate the danger of the situation. But I also cool colors and this green in order to, put in that sense of like they are in like a lab and like there's something mysterious about this. It's just like these are well this shot itself, was illustrating for a cover of one of my friends, artist named DeAndre Queen,
Mhm.
phenomenal artist. But on this, we were programming pictures of her avatar. It was like a rollout, and these two scientists were the people who were creating her avatars, basically. Uh, there was like 3 different representations of her that were floating on a projecting like screen, and these 2 scientists were going over it and being like wowed by their own work, basically. Like that's how it was supposed to fit.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's translated, but that's what it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because these pictures were all part of like a storyboard for the rollout of the actual company. So it makes sense as a whole versus like as a one. You know what I mean? But
Nice.
whenever,
So
Oh,
is the TV, was the TV actually there, or was that a
yeah,
composite?
we had this old school TV at the studio right now.
nice.
Nice.
Shout out to my girl's dad. Collected.
That's crazy. That's dope.
John was sitting in the basement. I was like, yeah, this is definitely coming.
Gotta use that. Oh my gosh, that's fire. So tell me a little bit about this shot, the breakdown. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 lights in it, maybe a 6th. What are you? What are
Okay,
you?
I have. Let me see. Yeah, you're probably about right on the 6. Definitely have a blue. Okay, so when I do gels, I don't just like cover the entire lamp with one color. I'll double it up like in a
Layer it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Hold on,
like,
hold on.
Do the same thing.
Wait a
or
second.
I'll split it. Like I'll split it in half. Like
Okay, that's one I haven't tried. Okay,
a blue on here and then a purple on this side. And
interesting.
Ah.
I know when I'm shaping that light, the blue will come around this way and hit, and then I know the purple will come around and hit another part.
Interesting.
It'll
I
make
never thought of doing that.
I have not tried that before.
glass. Um, and I do mad color theory, and I balance colors that are opposite of each other or
Right.
with the same, uh, like monochromatic kind of whatever, like that little blending, something like that. But for this, I think it's like a 6 light setup.
Mhm.
I have a beauty dish super above, like on top of them. That's what's giving me like
The
at
white
least
light.
sharp white lights to take out some of the color within
Mhm.
the faces and their lab coat a little bit. I
Mhm.
have magenta towards the was that back left, which is angled down. It's like up high, but it's angled downward. I have the yellow literally at the bottom of them coming straight up because I wanted that dramatic. I wasn't really worried about, like sometimes you get that that's like so harsh, it's
Mhm.
flattering.
Yeah,
So that beauty dish above is also making
cutting
sure
that.
that happen as far as like the light not being flattering. And then on the outside, like all the way in the back, I have like this large parabolic umbrella that's actually giving that soft green throughout the entire photo.
So that's behind. Okay, that's behind you because it's behind the TV.
Yep.
Okay,
It's literally all the way behind me, and I
interesting.
have that shooting directly in. And I know with the yellows and the greens, I'll be able to like play with that later in the shot,
Mhm.
compositing or whatever, or changing the color.
Yeah,
Move that little slider from that green to that purple, and it'll balance out a little bit better. Even if I oversaturated it a little bit,
that makes sense. This
it's
is
like sometimes I shoot in a way that don't make any sense to the person I view the picture at that point in time, but it makes total sense to me.
Mhm.
Like,
Sometimes it's like that.
or sometimes I shoot and it's just like it's perfect in camera.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, but I think also with this shot, not seen in it, because I have a full scene that's going on. I got like a fog machine going on. That's
Mhm.
why that that uh that magenta that's coming in is giving that little haze kind of.
Oh, okay. I thought that was hitting the background. So it's got a you got a fog machine.
I don't have nothing hitting the background. That's just pure black.
Okay.
They're like at least 4 to 5 feet away from the back.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I had black lights below them. They're not. They were kind of a feel like the platform that they were going to be on later on. It's like you had to see the whole shoot. Like,
no, that's a dude. As soon as you said 6 cameras, I'm like, huh? You had me at 6. I was like, so what are some of the I'm sorry, cameras, lights, I should say. What are some of the lights that you use? What is the camera that you use? All that kind of stuff. Because when you told me the camera you use, that I also found somewhat interesting.
Okay.
So tell a little bit about that.
So I am not like this like camera junkie. I'm not gonna lie. I just like got a like Mark II, like not too long ago. I got my girl a 6D Mark II, and her camera's better than mine. But before that, it was like a 50D Canon, and like, that's like a damn near
Is that the Rebel
camera. You know what I mean?
Very old camera now.
Yeah.
Like, and I make it work. I'll focus on the glass more than I do the camera itself. Like, I don't know. I'm not always stressed about like, cause a raw photo is a raw photo. Like,
right.
you know, like of course there are variations in pixels,
Right.
Whatever, but we're talking raw. I get away with it a lot more. You know? So I don't use anything new. I got a bunch of old glass too. Like, I just started using it. Like,
That's dope.
That goes to show you, kids. You
tell
don't have
people-
to have the most expensive stuff. You don't have to have all the craziest gear. I can't even tell you how many photographers I've met over the years to try and go, you know,
I gotta have this.
Yeah, I gotta have this. I gotta have that, man.
Nope.
If I only had this, my pictures would look like this, bruh. It got nothing to do with it.
It's very little. It's workflow. Like that's all the cameras do is give you better workflow, and that's it. Well, I mean, there's slight variations, but I remember
This is a
Kai,
dog, by the way.
I remember Kai, the Japanese dude with the French accent.
yeah.
He did
yeah,
he had a Japanese dude with French accent.
Reviewing cameras and all that.
But I remember he did it's so funny when you listen
Is
to
he
him.
French or Australian?
I don't know, man, but he got it's so weird, man. Like when you see stuff like that always trips me out. Like, you know, you see somebody who's, you know, looks one way and then has an accent that you wouldn't expect, you know, it's funny to me. Anyways, he did a comparison. Like he did like a cheap camera, expensive lens versus expensive camera, cheap lens, comparison. And you're always going to get better results. Like I tell people, light first, then the lens, then the body. You know what I mean? The light and the lens matter way more.
And even with that, like, I started out as a photographer that was like, you know, so I had to like learn lighting in different ways, like from like, you know, like your standard off camera, like what are those damn things called? Like,
the speed lights. Yeah,
man. Like I had speed lights first, and then after the speed lights, I had bought this little Westcott like compactable softbox Aqua.
Yeah,
and I was using that outside on the boom. Like that was the first like light.
Dude.
After that, and like understanding that, I really like dove into the 3 light setup. Like I never went like I was like a 1 light setup, but understanding a 1 light setup in conjunction with the natural light that was. So I was still 3 light setup or like multiple light setup in my brain. You know what I mean? So once it was time to like actually start using lights, I've been using like alien beats. I use like workhorse light. A lot of people can say whatever they're gonna say about them, bruh. They always work for me because I understand them. It's not too many things I gotta think about. Like I do like the DigiBees too. I like what is that? Bronx color.
Brown color. Yeah.
They lit. I will never hate on them at all. And even like still lights and stuff. Are they called GVMs or GMV, whatever?
Oh yeah, the GVM lights. I got a couple of them in here.
GVM, yeah, I still use GVMs even for like major production stuff I've done.
Sometimes you don't. It's not the equipment. It's the person
using it,
understanding of that equipment and how to,
they're just tools. They're just tools, man. It's how you use the tool.
Shout out to my guy Dallas Logan, man. What he says is light is light.
It is. I really believe that. I really believe that. Like this setup, you would think it's a lot going on, but it's like I don't even know if it's a parabolic umbrella. I think I like just a bigger umbrella. Like, and then I had 2 gels, one on opposite side of these subjects, and I just kept moving the light from left to right, depending on how I was trying to light bulb on. I was in a freaking beauty salon. Like I was so prepared for what was going on. You know what I mean?
Now you do a lot of setup now. I know you can do composite work and everything else and so forth, but I noticed in a lot of your newer work and a lot of stuff you do now, especially for fashion, you do more setup. So you'll spend more time setting up a scene and everything else, kind of like this. So you said this was in a salon. So talk a little bit about how you put this together and everything else.
So like the designer was these pink lips pillows that she was dropping, which you see throughout the scene. There were like natural, plants and stuff already there that were like in the window, but not exactly sitting around. I'm very like quick on my feet as far as like a thought process goes toward certain things. I knew that we were shooting this. I had no clue what the salon looked like. There were some plants that were already there, and then my friend Alicia, she ended up getting the rest of the plants. She just better. But for the most part, when it comes down to set design, I do a lot of that stuff with my girlfriend. She's freaking awesome at that because she's very she thinks of like all the little small stuff that I'm not. And then I'm very particular when it comes to like that little tiny thing that I know is going to pop. Broad. I'm very big on perspective. This or
depth.
I'm very big on. So I always think of like, okay, this is the focal point, and now I'm putting the subject here. What do I need to make this like a play on hierarchy? As far as I don't want this background to outshine them, or like how do I make the background draw you into the most? You know what I mean? That's all I think of the entire time. But like my girlfriend, she'll just like be like, okay, I got all this stuff, and like I know we gotta make it a thing. Like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but we're gonna. Like, we also think very hard about all of those, all of those pieces. Like, no, we need this, I know we need this, and then like we get there, and I'm just like, I don't even know how all of this is supposed to go. But
we're gonna figure
I've
it out.
Been there.
Yep,
I've been there. Speaking of girlfriend, where is Riza? She there?
She hiding, man.
She hiding. Where you at, Riza?
On her phone in the back.
Come over here and say what's up real quick.
Come on. You might as well. You here.
Can't hide.
It's too late.
Hi, y'all.
How's it going?
She's going.
Did she even poke her face on? Like I didn't even see it. I missed
That's
it.
all right. We're gonna have you on soon.
That's funny.
But yeah, like that's how we do. Like she's very mood board, and I am too. But like she is like she'll be on Pinterest for like hours. Like I be like stopped thinking about it, and like then she like shows me something like an hour later. I'm like, oh, we're still okay. I didn't know.
I'm kind of weird like that too. Like when it comes to, huh?
He said because we're Virgos.
That's funny.
Right? Yeah. Reason's like, what? You're a day before me or after me?
I think 4 days, 3 to 4 days.
4 days.
4 days? Yeah. What up? Shout out Virgos. You're still the best anyway. Best artist anyway. Anywho.
Aquarius. Shout out to
I don't trust those water signs or wishy-washy. Anyway.
Jeez.
I'm joking. I don't follow them. I don't believe them.
Listen,
Anyway.
I'm a cheese pizza, man.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yo, I saw this one meme, or what wasn't a meme? It was a comedian that made a joke about it. That was the most funniest thing on it. And when it comes to me, I'm gonna say it. It's funny, hilarious. Anyway, so one thing that I do a lot is I'm heavy on Pinterest, whatever. I'll look through everything, Google, whatever. When it comes to a lot of the composite work stuff that I do, especially for movie posters, and especially if the client didn't give me a lot to go off of, then usually what I do is, and I even coach people to do this. I tell them to still like crazy, but when you still, you're not stilling necessarily just like a mood board. You're not stilling the actual picture. You're just stilling either the vibe of it, what you're going for with it, or actual just pieces of it, right? Especially for composites. I'll take literal pieces of stuff. And I was going over one time with Rob, I was like, I'll take one piece of this. I like how the ground looks with this. Okay, it's fire like this. I'll take that. She got bats on her on. Okay, I'll take that. And then I'll start sculpting my own together from that. When I do more live shoots in more fashion or just something directly now, what I usually do is I'll go to Pinterest, whatever, different stuff for a mood board. And what I'm looking at is I'll just I'm taking a little bit sometimes of perspective and then usually a lot of just background environment. And it's not even the background environment to like, oh, I wanted to look like that and shoot like that. It's more of just like, I'm not good when it comes to like in person in designing a set. I'm not the greatest at that. So like I gotta kind of still a little to get the idea of how I'm going to design a set. And I used to be terrible at it. I'm getting better and better at doing it. Because I used to rely so much on composite work. But I'm starting to enjoy a lot more of designing an actual set, putting pieces together and so forth. It just creates a whole different thing, man. It really does.
It is. That's something that I wish I was better at. Because I'm like, even when I used to draw, backgrounds were never a thing that I was good at picturing. You know what I mean? It was always just a character and that's it. And that's, you can probably see that in my work now. Like if you look through the stuff that I do, it's all, pretty much a black background, character in the middle. There's not a whole lot in the back, unless I'm doing a composite. I can do a
Stick,
composite.
have you ever seen any of Robert's work?
Yeah, I definitely have.
Yeah, like y'all so like very similar things. Different.
He's very
interesting.
like your stuff is punchy. I like it.
Wow,
Like,
thank you.
because I'm punchy for a lot of things. Like I didn't study a ton of photographers. Like a lot of people, like they had like a lot of people that they studied. Like I always went for like because I really want to get super avant-garde, like probably later and stuff or whatever, or now and just figure it out. But like only person I've studied was probably like David LaChapelle. I love his stuff. Like he's very colorful. I found out he's not the greatest photographer. He doesn't really know what to do with his stuff, but people compositing his stuff are fucking fire. But all of that, like I've always seen that type of stuff, and I know all those little details matter. And like I said, like the comic book stuff, like watching things like Akira, they're very background. Like sometimes you'd be kind of amazed at the stuff that you just damn. I took all this time to draw this just for
all the detail.
When people talk about how they did Akira, like just some of those scenes, like the police scene, and they had all that paper in the background. They were talking about how they animated every single little shred of paper that was going across. It's insane.
Oh, we can talk about Akira for days.
Oh my god.
We can talk about
Akira's-
Akira.
Oh my
For,
gosh.
bro, first of all, it's to this day one
It's
of
still-
the only animated things ever that they did 24 frames per second. So let me kind of break this down. So if you understand how animation works, right? You know, you've seen before where they draw the picture, flip to the next one, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
So the average frame per animation is 12 frames,
Mm-hmm.
right? The average frame to how regular film works, right? So a film passing through the projector, right,
24
is 24, right? Hence the same of what you set your cameras, even if it's digital. 24 frames is kind of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 30 is about the highest you can go before it starts looking goofy. Anything higher gets into like slow motion. Anything lesser gets into like speedy stop motion looking stuff, right?
Yeah.
So hence why like everything, if you ever notice, even in an anime, everything still kind of moves like Disney, because Disney was the one that started the 12 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Akira was one of the only animations ever done. There's a few others that were but Akira I think was the only one that was completely done in 24 frames per second.
It's a lot of drawing, and that was
That's
before
a
they were using computers
lot
for it.
of
It
drawing.
was all on paper. Like it's like
And to this day, if you watch it, nothing looks like it.
No.
No other animation looks like it.
The
It's
movement
wild.
so flawless. Like
oh my gosh.
in anatomy stuff, like there's certain moments where you're watching a cartoon and you're just like, or anime of some sort, and you're just like,
Bro, they said they used 354 shades of black to create the motorcycle scenes.
Oh my gosh.
like I'm gonna watch this. I'll watch this tonight. I am gonna just
I'm like, I haven't seen it in a lot. Wow, I need to watch it again. It's been a while since I watched it.
Like I watched so many documentaries on that joke because like I because here's the great. I saw Akira. The first time I saw Akira, I think I was 10. No, maybe 12. I think it was like 12. I was 13 years old. There was a comic book store that wasn't too far from my area where I lived. It was like walking distance, and it was expensive because it was like foreign and like all
you
this
can't
other
even
stuff,
get a hold
right?
of it. Yeah.
And it was in this
VHS.
big box and all this other stuff, and it was the whole, Akira with the motorcycle and all, and they had it all in display in the thing, and it was just like, what is that? And they were just like, you ain't ready for that, young boy. And I remember I brought my dad in one time, and he was like, what do you want for your birthday? I want that. And he was like, what is it? I don't know, but I want it. And he bought it for my birthday, and I sat down and watched it and was anime hooked.
Bruh,
And I had saw anime before because kind of like I've been around Japanese, and I've seen all that for years. Dad was military, blah 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 blah. But I never saw nothing like when you first saw Akira, and it was like, what is this? To kids now, it's kind of normal because they're used to anime, but back then it was like, what the?
Wow.
But even still, like I don't think anything in comparison to
Nothing.
Like I had like I had like top things, like they were probably not exactly like all the way opposites, but like Akira was a good one. Eon Flux was like one.
Yeah.
That style alone, his style.
Wicked City, freaking Neo Tokyo, like those.
Yes. Neo Tokyo blew my mind when I was a kid. I was like, what am I watching?
Those golden age animes were just so.
What's
It's like we have to be on
Ninja
drugs.
Scroll. Oh my goodness. To this
I
day,
remember
I'm
the
still.
first time I saw Ninja Scroll.
I'm still mad that they haven't finished Ninja Scroll. Like, please.
They did technically.
Nah, it's that still,
little TV show thing they did, right?
Did they do something else with it?
Yeah, they did like a TV show. There's a whole TV show.
No clue.
It's not the same. It's not as good as the movie.
Yeah.
But
It's him like doing the same move over and over.
it's like a prequel. It's a prequel to the movie, I think, or
I
something.
feel like he's
Okay.
like. I feel like
remember.
how like Power Rangers always ends a certain way, or VR Troopers always ends a certain way. It's just do this move and
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like they went real El Cheapo compared to the original movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, man. Like You know, we talked a lot about your composite stuff and the stuff you do for celebrities and artists and stuff like that, man. But just your fashion and your photography in a whole, bro, for just like clean shots, like, bro, like it's you do your thing, man.
To be honest, like these type things, I don't always know are in my wheelhouse of things. And with like the girls in this shot, they're all like ballet dancers. Like there's like a family of people,
Oh wow.
sisters, and their thought process was so out of the box of things that I was used to. Like they were critiquing the hell out of each other the entire time that they was taking photos. Like this shot, honestly, on gray backdrop. And the only reason I didn't do it on like the tan that we had at the time or the brown that we had at the time is because I wanted to make sure that the shirts that she was selling and stuff were not, I don't know,
Washed out.
the background. Like,
Yeah, off color.
yeah.
So did you create the vignette or was that just directly from the light?
The vignette is not like I created that using like a burn-in Dodge. You know, gray layer.
Wait, what? Ho. Go back. What? So you used a dodge and burn to create the vignette?
Yes, it's on its
I've
own.
never thought of doing that. Not in a million fucking years have I ever thought of doing that.
So with set design, certain things that are in the shot, I burn or dodge it in order to either bring more attention to it and focus the direction, or take out of the scene altogether. Like where like that thing.
Hold on.
Like
You just got me like, hold on, let's go back. That's something I've never done. See, this is why I like just talking with photographers. That you learn so much, bro. Everybody got something different.
Right.
Because once again, you say dodge and burn, most people are going to think what? Skin and playing with a person's body, whatever, so on and so forth. I never thought of using dodge and burn to play with the background and the actual lighting.
Bro, I do it to the clothes. I do it to strings. I do it to eyeballs. I do it to the fabrics. Like sometimes I'll shoot
fabrics and all I do, and hair and all that kind of like the subject. I never thought of touching the background.
Yeah, you can use that to enhance the. Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
bro. Because like even like when I'm doing like composites where I put like a candle light in, right? Not only am I then thinking about how the light is falling in the color, I'm also thinking about how I need to dodge the candle itself in order to represent that flame hitting it at this angle and stuff like that, or like how this light would fall. I don't know. I just that's literally what I do. So it's like if I'll put the 50% gray layer on, it'll probably be like a last step. You know what I mean? Like I'm like looking at it and I'm being over particular or whatever, and then it's just like
just start.
This is now it's time to like fuck this background up too. Like
yeah, I only really use dodge and burn on the subject. I'll use it on the clothes. I'll use it on hair. I'll use it on a bunch of different stuff. But I just I guess just because the way I was trained, I never thought past the subject with dodge and burn. If I'm lighting the background, I'm using other tools. You know what I mean? Whether it's levels, curves, whatever, so on and so forth.
How to figure out that draw. Like so I knew this had to draw into a spot. Like you know what I mean? And to have this just be like a flat clean didn't really make
it wasn't there, yeah.
Like so if I'm gonna make a vignette, that's how I'm gonna make it. I tried to do it like in like the camera raw or something. Like if I select all and copy this all together and tried to do the camera, it was gonna make it like really terrible up at the top. Like those two girls.
Oh yeah, it would have been vignetted. Yep.
Yeah, so I got to think of a way to make it not destroy my photo.
Yeah, because the ones that you get in camera are a little bit too perfect. Like it's real. Yeah, I used to do a lot more dodging and burning backgrounds when I shot outside a lot more, which I'm getting back to again this year. But
that the hell out of the photo, because like sometimes I like to shoot outside on very dreary days. because I feel like I have more control over
Control
the
over the light. Yeah.
That makes sense. I always wanted Student in the Sun. I hated jury days, so that's
I
really
hate
good.
jury days to what it does to the damn sky,
Hmm.
but everything else I love about a jury day.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that real soft light, that big, yeah, makes sense.
So let's talk about now Miss Riza. So for those of you who don't know, guys, this is Six's girlfriend, Miss Riza. This is a shot with just her in it, and he used two different shots and put the composite together to make it look like one. And of course, awesome as always. And yeah, man, just talk a little talk a little bit about just you guys' relationship and what you guys are doing together and where you're at with things and so forth.
I mean, my one homie who I gave a shout out to in the beginning, Bach, is actually the reason that we were introduced. That I had my other studio down on where was I? I was like like that big warehouse, like a 2,300 square space. And he like came with him while he was getting this like rendition of oh god, what is that guy from the lead singer from Queen? What's his name?
Freddie Mercury.
Yep, Freddie Mercury, like redoing a scene of that, like whatever. She came, didn't say nothing to me except hi.
That's reason.
I had like a swing on the other side of the wall. And she went and got on the swing and filmed something for Snapchat. I didn't see her after that. And then like we like randomly found each other on Instagram. And I was like, like I like your look, let's wanna work or whatever, but like we just never really like convened or whatever. And then like I was out of a relationship, she was out of a relationship, and like she had this post up that said she wanna go on vacations in different places and have sex in hills. and under her John, I like wrote like besides the hills, I'm like with like you know what I mean, like that sound good to me. And then like she like came back to my DM like, nigga, you never used my number, like and it kind of just went from there like that. But it's like I don't know, I'm not a pickup, so really she bagged me a lot. But like we really worked really well together. Like I didn't know all the things he was doing like beforehand. Like on the outside looking in, I just seen a person who was shooting and like work, really dynamic, different stuff. Come to find out like she was like the ideas and the brains behind that. Plus, she had a friend who does makeup and hair, Harmony Hair Studio, Harmony Hair Spa Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She was like her second person. Like so she was like makeup, hair, all of that. And then, Riza, she do makeup and she'll style and she'll think and put stuff together. Like she like for this photo, she had the ideas and everything. You know what I mean? It's more or less like she was like, I wanted to be two of me. And I'm like, all right, bet. I know how to make it be two of you and make it make sense later. But like, let's figure out what's all gonna be here. We had like some curtains for our front window that we just ended up using as like a backdrop in the back. And it's only like probably like 9 feet across of.
I was about to ask you. It looks like you cloned it out, kind of. See, I don't think anyone else would notice. I can notice it right from the jump.
Like certain
I can see where the patterns repeat.
Yep. So it was like that much, and then like it was a red backdrop rolled out, right? Like, and I had her take pictures holding the collar, and I had a stand, like a little black stand in the middle, so that it would make sense for where the chain is gonna hang. Because I'm thinking like, okay, this shot has to make sense with the next shot to come up or whatever. But it's just like the dog chain or whatever was connected to that pole, and then once she is out of that scene, then the handle is then placed on that same black pole, and then it's like drawn to the collar.
Makes sense.
Like, but it's like it won't make sense when you're doing it. But like, it's like you gotta really think like the end process in the beginning, like the entire time. But same lighting, same fall off and stuff like that. I didn't change anything. Like even like a position, and she just went right back to the same exact spot. And you know, like, cause you really still got to think about it. Like you don't want to change up your lighting just because now your subject is sitting down. Like all of these things got to still make sense because this light has to flow the same exact way. She's here and she's, you know what I mean? So, like both shots were taken towards the middle. At the end, like there's some positive. But, like outfit wise and all the other type of stuff, she had all of that in mind. What is this? Is it like a Valentine's Day, John? Yeah, for the red, John. That's how
It's fire. Came out dope.
Seriously.
I'm screaming like Reza can hear me in the back.
like things that we do have going on is like our other studio. We have studio here in Drexel Hill, that we basically, before everybody had this idea to do all of these what the hell are they calling, selfie music? Like
yeah, the themed selfie studios now.
Yeah, like 6 years back, we were just like I've been very into art and how we interact with it. You know what I mean? I'm very functional art. Like if I did a big art show, it would be like, okay, I made this skateboard pattern for this skateboard. I want the actual skateboard to be not on display, but I want it being used. I did a logo for an energy drink company. I want that energy drink company to sponsor it. So not just so you're understanding, like we go to art shows and we like, oh yeah, this picture is on a wall. This is dope. This is art. You know what I mean? I think in conjunction of how art manifests itself in life.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm big on. So
yeah, to this day, one of the best art exhibits I've ever been to. I was young, man. I still remember it. I was like 15, 16. I still remember it to this day. I was in Boston, and a very new artist was coming out. He was Colombian. He's real big now. I forget his name, Alberto something. And his exhibit, he had this long like hallway. It was just a normal hallway, and he had a painting kind of strip that went all the way down the hallway. And if you looked up at first, the strip just looked like a bunch of just like he just smeared paint, whatever, over, right? And because he was Colombian, it was a lot about like jungle and stuff like that. And so then the curator that was like taking us through it was like, okay, she was like, close your eyes real quick, so forth. She's like, now imagine you're in the jungle and look up. And then when you looked up again, it was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So like I always love conceptual pieces and art and so forth, and I very do get that. And there goes my battery. There goes my camera again. And I very much see that in the pieces and the stuff that you're putting together, man. It's very, very cool.
It's very very big on, but our space in Hill is set up already, like, so you have an idea, like if you don't know what you want to do and you need a concept, maybe literally walk around the space and, oh, I know what I want to do. And we just make that like 30 times better for ourselves or whatever, how out there that way. Like on set design, but we're also understanding of like the fact that a lot of people don't always have budgets. We have done enough of these things in order to put something like some little thought that you have to make it a reality. People come to us because they've seen a picture, like, I want to do that. And I can successfully be like, all right, bet, I got that in the studio. Like, I know exactly how we could do that. We're going to make it a different way, but bet. Like,
you guys have a lot of props and stuff?
We do. We have tons of props. And like I said, like, at this point, what is it, like four different setups, kind of.
Hmm.
Well, 5. You can about 6. The bathroom is space. Like we got a red gothic area. We have like black wall with these tube lights on it that are can be changed, multiple colors. We have a bar setup that's very like Great Gatsby-ish, I guess.
Hmm.
We have a vine wall and hallway. We have something like the bathroom is very dark, but it's dope. It's gothic in a way because of the mirror that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the print that's up the wall is like intense. But like the back room is very Saved by the Bell era, very colorful. That's like the dressing room and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then we have like just the standard shooting studio area. But and then we also have another studio in Ohio, Hustle House Studios. Big, large psych wall where you can drive a car in and shoot on that.
Part of Ohio.
Then another standard backdrop system, and the space itself also has music studios, 2 music studios. My homie, he does grills.
Nice.
And then my other homie, Serge, also does the custom rims. Big car rims. So it's Hustle House for a reason.
That's what's up. What part of Ohio?
Columbus.
Columbus? Okay. I actually got there's a couple of friends I have out that way. My grandmother used to live in Columbus, so
Listen, man, you ever in Columbus, let me know so I could, make it happen.
we definitely got a link. In fact, there's a dude, there's a guy out there who's making music. He's gonna come out my way. But yeah, I definitely gotta get up when I come back out that way. Definitely.
No, I mean, because like that's what we're trying to do over there. Like I'm very into the beginning and the finished product of a person and stuff like that. So like when it comes to like we have the studio, we have people that can help you like write and think out ideas and whatnot. So it's just like very start to finish as far as you do the music, then you do the visuals, then you can get the next thing or whatever else like style and purpose. Yeah. Very start to finish.
That's what's up. That's dope. That's really dope. Oh yeah, we got John. Oh, there you go.
Bruh, I'm sitting here trying to
You're taking a beating.
Yeah,
Was it just your battery this time?
Yeah, but like I charged a whole nother battery and it ain't even. I hope one of my batteries didn't die on me like completely.
Like die.
Yeah, die. Yeah.
Nothing like that.
I forgot to buy the freaking cords. I've been so busy.
Okay.
Now that's dope. Like that's I would love to have something set up like that. That's what I want to eventually get my studio to be, is something that's multi-use like that, so you can use it for making music or whatever, like in the same place, just like a creative outlet in general.
Like that's what I've always wanted to do. Like once I started in this and like I started a lot of the DVD rapper people, it was only right that I start doing like kind of like start to finish. Like I felt like people weren't just coming to me. When you come to somebody to do a logo, you're thinking like, how can I say this? You're thinking like longevity of the company. How this?
Yeah,
So,
it's a brand. It's branding. It's like
So
like
I delve into the person. Like I don't want to just get you at surface level. I need to make sure that I understand this, what you're trying to present. Like that's how it's always been for me. I've worked with artists at their lowest, feel at their highest. Pretty cool. It's like
to see them grow.
Yeah, man, I like that. Like I'm not a hater, dude. I love to see people win. Being part of that win is
Yeah, that's facts.
really good.
I agree, man, and also just relationships. Like
Right.
it's the only way really you gonna build relationships out here.
That's all my work comes from me doing good work and then them to another person. I'm not a big promoter dude. I'm not even like that guy. Like, but I still get pretty good, and like I'll always have work coming in. Even if I'm not shooting, I always got like logo, CD cover, flyer, something random. Didn't even know I was gonna do project. like even like we'll do set design type stuff. Sometimes we'll get hit up. Like people will rent out the studio just because they know that we'll help them with the set. We'll help them. So
Yeah.
like,
That's
like even just that.
I definitely find that like people will come to me because I'll help out with, how to light, make sure that, that kind of stuff is straight,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even somebody to like to their own whims. Like you in my might as well you. Like you ask
Yep.
for my
If it comes out of my studio, I want it to look good.
like you could have did this anywhere else. Like this is like now that you've come to us, it's the best experience you ever had. This is probably the best picture you ever got at this point. Like that's just me.
No, I get it. I'm with it.
Don sound like he over there.
He wrestling, man. So tell me about your editing process. What's your process for skin? Because this is really good beauty edit.
Thank you. To be honest, I'm doing frequency separation, but I'm not. I don't have like action. I don't. I've never paid for action. All my stuff is like hands on. I don't do Lightroom at all, and I know that's probably a bad thing, but I don't.
You don't do what again? Say again.
don't
Sorry. Say that one more time. You don't do what again?
Lightroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't use Lightroom at all. I am strictly like Photoshop. Like
same here, brother. I hate Lightroom.
Can't help it. It's too presetty to me. Like I can't.
Same.
So I'll take something. You open it up in your camera raw menu. I figure out the balances that I like. I don't start with my picture primarily. Like to bring all the highlights and stuff down, and then be in control of those highlights later. Of course, I go. I have a non-destructive process. I do not work on the initial photo. I will literally end up with like an average of 36 layers on any photo, like on the low scale, 36 layers. But frequency separation, understanding of, I'll use like color lookups sometimes.
Okay.
But I take like the threshold, and I'll take the slider from the furthest left to the furthest right or whatever, and find the darkest spots, the darkest and the brightest spot on a photo. Then use adjustment layers in order to like my levels or whatever. I will program the levels off of that, and that it's like a sampler. It's like a dark sampler, and it's a medium, like middle highlight sample. I'll pick my color, my lightness and darkness off of that. Also use the color look like 30%.
Nice.
To maybe punch a certain color in there or a certain feel that I want, and once we get other levels over that, and then I'll round them off with like curves. Once I get like that all together, then I'll go in with the burn and dye, just tighten up what I want to tighten up and punch out what I want to punch out. I'll go from like super detailed onto the lips to the hair to the eyebrows, taking all of those little pieces and zhuzhing them up or whatever. And then
now here's a good question. How do you go about sharpening? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand sharpening, and a lot of times what I see from photographers is like they kind of sharpen everything. They only sharpen certain things. They sometimes sharpen the wrong things. They don't really understand how sharpening works. So how do you kind of go about sharpening?
So I still have very CD cover sharpening. I still be using it like once I do like my whole edit and I like where it's at, I re-import my photo into Camera Raw. Right? And I might actually mess with the sharpen that's in there and the noise reduction and the color noise reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Find a nice little balance between that, and I still use clarity. Like
Okay.
I'll put clarity on to like 8, but
Oh,
not
I
like
do too.
it. So clarity to like 8, and then figure out a softness. Like, and I might take that picture out and then look at it, see if
Yeah,
I like.
one thing I do now a lot that I learned from someone was like I'll take clarity and texture way up. And then because now that camera raw works more like a filter and like a layer, I'll take it way up, bring it in as a layer, and then take the opacity back, or even do an opacity command fill, and then really start playing with the textures kind of in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then it really starts, you get a lot of funky kind of things that happen.
You know how you have frequency separation, and there's that layer that's gray where it's your textures.
Mm-hmm.
Once I finish a photo, sometimes I'll bring that layer above
And you'll use it. Yeah.
fill of it, like slider of it. And
Which is basically a surface blur.
yeah. Like I'll yeah, or like a high pass or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah. I'll take what is that? I'll save the photo, and when you re-import it and you open it in Camera Raw, there's this thing too, called like high definition something that you can do. I can't really remember what the heck the name of it is, but when you pull a picture in and it's a JPEG at this point, you can boost the clarity of it to high definition. I
Which is this? Hold up. Go back again.
I'm trying to remember it, like how it exactly works. It's literally
Is it one of the new Photoshop functions?
Is it the neural filters?
The neural filter
not
thingy?
under filters. It's like its own thing. Like literally, like you'll open it and like you're on the little first menu or whatever, and like I don't know if it's like a right click or it's up in the file something or whatever, or image something, but it's a thing that literally says like, I'll send you like this video. It's on this. It's like this pixel perfect pixel.
Pixin Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he put me D to that, John. It was like a high definition photo, and like when you open a photo up, because like even when you have like shitty photos that you get from the internet where it's just like, damn, this is like 72 resolution and it's a small photo, you can boost the clarity of it without it destroying the photo. Like you might end up getting a much better photo with way more pixel ratios and stuff to it. Like, but
I think I know.
I just can't remember what the hell the name of it is.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, I'm curious, and that's funny. That goes back to something I said a while ago on one of the show for one, like a new thing that came out. They had a new version of it. So it's the company that took over Google Nick. I forget what they're called. It's like
Luminar or whatever.
No, not Luminar. I forget the name of it. But basically, if you look up Google Nick, they used to run Google Nick, and they have a new software to where you can load all your pictures, and it doesn't matter how fucked up they are or whatever, right? And they'll do kind of the same thing, and they'll fix everything. It'll fix whatever clarity, whatever softness, whatever distortion, noise, whatever. And then it dumps everything into a Lightroom file, and then you can take the Lightroom file from there and do whatever you want to do with it, transfer it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then my boy showed me and used it a couple times, and I was like, oh. he showed me these really effed up photos that he took at a wedding, because he never did a wedding before. He wasn't good at it. And he was like, dude, this saved my life. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he pulled it up and showed me, and the pictures were horrible. And then he threw it in there, and it was like, boom. It was like he took them perfect. Like clarity and everything. It even took the bit ratio up on him.
Yeah,
interesting. Like, oh.
However,
and then he dumped it back over the photo, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like that's how that thing but it's like you you literally have to save the photo though. Like, and it has to be like certain dimensions too. It can't just be anything. Like I can't like import like a CD cover, like how that is like 5 1/4 or 10, whatever. If I pull that in, it won't read it. Like, and you can only do it like you do it one time, and then you gotta save it. And if you want to do it again, you have to like literally save it. And it's a max something. Yeah. Like it's nothing you can do with it, or like knows that it's a random thing on it. But crisp without it being overly sharpened and disgusting looking, where it's like the skin is just like too textured and like sometimes that works for certain things, like a movie cover. You need that. Wow, that sounds great. But you don't want to do that with everything. Some pictures.
Yeah,
this is fire.
Thank you. This is kind of older, bro. Like this was when I was like kind of developing with my like I've been doing composite stuff, but like this was like more like
this is like a composite mixed with a painting. Like I really like the style of it.
That's literally like this project was like when I started. Like damn, I really like how this turned out. Like I think I want to.
You should play with that again because that's really dope. I like that.
It's that way with a lot of other things. You just probably don't
notice it.
That's all. I do it like a ton.
That's what's up.
Like mixed media type of artwork. That's my thing. I love where it's like, okay, this you can tell that this is like a little bit of like something real, but then it's like, but it's in this little cartoon world.
Yeah, that's what I like too, man.
So like, that's
and it's weird. I get flack for it sometimes. Sometimes people like it, and some people are like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "It's not photography," and I'm like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, right. So I mean, if you want to say it's not photography, that's fine. But I never said I was a photographer necessarily. Like it's digital art. Like it's fine to mix medias. Like I don't know. Like do what you want. Like if it looks cool, it looks cool. At the end of the day, I don't understand that. That gatekeeping. It's like, oh, you're not a photographer. You're a digital art. Who cares? And it's a piece of art.
This is the thing. In order to be a photographer, like a lot of our work gets used in conjunction with like digital stuff. Like, you know what I mean? If I take a photo of a headshot or of a person, I know that this is also, it might not be a CD cover, but like a magazine cover more or less is a CD. You know what I mean? It's got a title, it's got whatever little special features is on there. Like if you can't get out of the wheelhouse of like, this is all I do, that's bad, because like you're not actually functional in what translates to the world. Like, do you think that people doing this cinematography and then like certain of their pictures get used for this damn flyer or poster, like they're like, that's not, like somebody had to think that out, you know what I mean? Like just from all of the scenes that they seen, like they just literally chose that, like, because they don't always take pictures just for this poster. They still scenes, like, you know what I mean? Like
it's like a lot of photographers kind of have to get out of that mindset at this point, because the people who are going to do better overall are mixed, are becoming more and more mixed media. Even if it's just photography and video, like you got to learn how to do more than just take pictures, and it makes you more marketable. It makes you more valuable as an artist to be able to do more than one thing.
Because after a while, there will be like a camera that kind of does certain things. There will be, you could probably take a horrible photo, but the AI in the camera is probably going to fix it.
Yeah, it won't be a camera. It's going to be a software.
Yeah.
It's going to be some kind of AI software that's going to come out that they're just going to figure out and jam the dime to where every picture comes out like poof.
Amazing.
But I still somewhat argue that, because this is art. You know what I'm saying? And this is artists and this is imagination. So I like they can try and put whatever. Like what this is what I think was going to happen. They're going to figure out some kind of AI that fixes all the minute things and then creates presets that puts on it automatically that makes it look like wow, right? But those presets are still going to be limited. And it's still going to be that kid, that whoever that goes against that grain and creates something different, right? That's going to be like, wow. Or people just get fucking sick of seeing that because it's going to become monotonous. It's kind of like I always say, I've said this in several episodes now. It's very much like the music industry. The music industry is very fucking kind of weird and bland right now. It's a lot of great stuff in it, but there's a lot of stupid shit and boring shit and kind of like this all sounds redundant and everything else. And a big reason for that is because so much of it is digital. And so much of it and how the beats are made and everything and how everything is composed is based off of ones and twos and zeros and numbers. And because of that, you're going to get somewhat of a redundant sound no matter what you do. And especially because of how hip hop and pop music and right now is very reliant on that, it's very redundant sounding. And for right now, it's popping and it's big and everything else. But I won't be surprised if rock music, other forms of music like that, and so forth start having more of a comeback because musicians can just improvise and do more than these programs can.
Yep.
And the music doesn't sound redundant anymore. And it's kind of what goes around comes around. You know what I mean? So I think it will be the same for visual and for photography and even film probably down the road. I think film has a long way to go because it's different in how it works. But specifically for photography, I think we are going to hit a precipice that's like the music industry where people can turn out shit ridiculously and fast and whatever, and even at a more fucked up rate than music.
I saw this camera called the light.
The light field thing where you could like go ahead.
It's like 11 cameras in one photo or whatever.
Oh, in the phone, whatever. It looks like a phone kind of.
It has a bunch of lenses on the front.
Yeah.
And
that freaking camera, because it did that, you could later on in the software that they had change the f-stop of each individual part. Like that in itself is a game changer. You know what I mean? Regardless of if their camera work properly.
Which it didn't. I remember that.
The light field.
And there was a couple other ones, and they're getting ready to bring out some more versions of it that are better.
Yeah.
They brought it out. They brought it out too early. What was the problem?
Yeah,
I think
and the technology wasn't exactly there yet.
It's going to keep on getting better. It really is.
It is.
Because I mean, just think of how useful that would be. You know, to be able to after you take a shot, you miss focus and just I'm just going to go ahead and fix that.
Yep. Like that's insane. Like like this a game changer right here. I wanted it. My homie got it actually. Yeah. He loves it. He takes like very like landscape and like
that's what it works well for right now because the technology just isn't there.
But
doing,
I mean,
doing like still lifes, you could use it to like tell stories, like being able to have a still life, like something small, and you have a whole bunch of story happening in that image, and having somebody be able to adjust the focus to see different parts of the image after the fact. Like it's an interesting it could be very interactive photos that you could take with it. It's interesting.
That's what I really loved about it. I was just like, this is super different. Like, but you know, it's just like with anything, like the better these freaking phone cameras get, like I love the cinematic on the iPhone. Like I know it's not probably like, you know, standard quality, but it looks
great.
It like so like I like certain technology makes what we do in our wheelhouse seem like it's not as amazing as it is, or it's hard as it is. So there will be like a thing where it's just like, you know, like whatever, like we'll still be analog and everybody will be over here with some other shit, but people will have like this really good respect for us understanding this. You know what I mean? Like that's
there's some AI piece of software called Dream. You can get it on your cell phone, and it creates paintings basically. Like you pick the genre, so you could do like a cyberpunk or a avant-garde, or like a different genres, and you tell it a word or a phrase, and it'll create a painting based on that phrase. And it's
Interesting.
really, really interesting what it does. Like it creates these really neat paintings. Back here, let me see if I can.
And I'm not hating on technology. I absolutely love technology. I use technology and manipulate technology. Try and download everything as possible to play around. But it's fun. This is the best way I can put it. This is going to sound kind of goofy, but it was profound. I watched this interview that they did a while ago. Of all people, Vanilla Ice. I can't make this shit up, right? They were interviewing him because he's got like a he's like a big real estate dude now. He's like a multimillionaire, and like he flips like $1 million houses and all this shit. And he has a whole show on like the fucking Home Network and whatever. Anyway,
After living with the Amish,
real shit. But but they did an interview with him, and they were asking him about like, where do you see music going, and blah 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 blah. And it was very interesting what he said. I'll never forget this shit. He was like, yeah, it's kind of. He was like, it's going to be fucked up for a while. And the guy was like, what do you mean? And he was like, think about it. He was like, from my generation, which was like the 90s, 80s, to even 2000s, to the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, whatever, right? Every generation has their styles, their thing, fashion, music, film, whatever, so on and so forth, things they create, things they do to move things forward. Mm-hmm. He was like, but if you look at the last couple of generations, their generation is the computer. Their generation is the iPhone, the technology, right? Okay, cool. But the problem with the technology is the technology can only take data from what has already been done. Mm-hmm. It can only take data from the past. So that's why, if you notice, everything you see now, everything in art, everything that's kind of being created, a majority of it, not all of it, but a majority of it is things that are retro. They're things from the past, or things from, whatever era, 90s, 80s, 50s, or whatever. And we've always done that, but it's become more of a dominant now. So my only concern is the more we keep conforming to digital and using digital technology to aid our needs and things and creativity and so forth, the more it lacks us to progressing forward.
Yeah.
And instead we keep going backwards.
I feel like
I find that interesting philosophy.
I agree with that.
Vanilla Ice said that of all people.
I agree with it, because like when I listen to music right now, like, okay, we used to sample, people still sample or whatever, but there would be samples that would completely change. Like you would be like, I didn't even know that was from that song. Like, you know what I mean? One little piece, and it like then created this whole thing. Right now, music literally takes other songs and then just kind of puts a beat that is kind of over it, and literally just like
does it.
It's the same shit.
Yep.
I hear songs come out that I'm like, yo, they didn't do anything.
Right.
Like did y'all try? Like,
yo, that's why like every young producer I meet, and they'll go, oh, like who? I said, listen, young bro, I know you think I'm old head, whatever. If there's anyone who's current right now that you should be listening to and learning how to make beats from, it's LP. Because LP is the closest of like our old school generation in 90s and whatever and so forth, and underground and everything else, but then everything else and so forth of taking a sample, chopping it up to 1 million pieces, and creating something new. You know what I'm saying?
That was the thing. We were supposed to like there was supposed to be like, okay, this is the thing, and then prove the thing. That
yeah. And because remixing has always been a thing, and it always will be a thing, but you got to add yourself into it. You can't just take it and copy it. And it's the same thing kind of with movies that's happening too. You know, like that's
Yeah.
why everything is being remade. It's all remakes. Even the Marvel Cinematic Universe is remakes. Like they wrote those stories before. I mean, they're changing them, but it's all remakes. You know what I mean, of old stories.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot new happening.
I think it's a very weird thing that technology is doing to us. And you know, I'm not saying bad or good. I'm not going to get into all the whole and be like an old man. The
Mhm.
thing I can simply say to it is, the kid that wants to be the next big whatever, the next Kanye, the next whatever, be the one that goes against that grain,
Mhm.
and you will have success.
Because it's too much of like I got the reason that I like kind of fell back off of social media. It was because like I started seeing what was trending versus art.
Mm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because there can be no progression when we're clones. You know,
Mhm.
like how many times can we picture of talking the same freaking angle and say that this is actually different? Like and it's just like I got confused as to like there were like a bunch of like sites and stuff coming out that were catering to this, like Vero and ooh, what the it was like came out with I can't remember what the heck it was called, but like I don't remember. But like there was a bunch of pictures that were coming out that were like exactly the same. They had the same like color grading to it. It was just like, is anybody trying, or are you just like, I know what works because I've seen it done before. Now I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm very. It's got to be different. It's gotta, even if it is this thing, how do we? Because we could have stopped at a telegraph, like, you know what I mean, before we actually got to a phone. Now we got cell phones that do way more than I could have ever imagined they would have done.
And here's the deal. I'm not against trends
Right.
completely. You know what I'm saying? Because sorry, I'm out here chilling. Not close to the mic. I'm not 100% against trends because trends lead to eventually innovation because they influence enough to become an invention, an innovation to some kid down the road.
Mhm.
So I'm not against trends 100%. But
I'm
my
not
thing is,
in the case of like it, you know, before there were subgenres of music, there was just a, you know what I mean? Like there was a sound, and then somebody else made another sound that's kind of in that, but it's not. So I do it. Love trends for that, like trend setting versus trend following.
mhm. I I guess my biggest argument with it is just, I guess you could say, whether it's film, whether it's audio, whether it's analog against digital in a
Mhm.
sense, right? Or real against digital, right? So there's nothing wrong with digital. Digital can enhance reality, right? Or manipulate it, you know. But my thing is, you still have to come back to reality at some point to create the originality
Mhm.
to digitize it.
That's a
If that
fact.
makes sense. Digital can only replicate what has already been done. So that's like the thing, and the thing that I don't think that, you know, especially young out here and so forth, you grew up on technology and everything else and social media in the day and age we live in. You know, I have a few interns and people that work for me and things like that and so forth, and it's like, you know, they constantly are showing me new things and so forth, and I'll go, oh, that's from this, that's from that, that's from this, that's from that, and they look at me like, this old fuck. Like, and they hate me for it, and I'm just like, bruh,
But
like,
that's
ain't
what it
nothing new
is.
under the sun, bruh. And
Yep.
it's like, I'm like, look, take from all this, do all this is great, but at the end of the day, you need to create something new. And
Mhm.
I was like, I get your influences. And then they'll bring me stuff. They'll go, hey, I did this, I did that, I did this. And I'll go, nope, 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 nope. nope. And they'll get frustrated with me. They're like, man, you don't fucking like anything. I was like, no, it's just I've seen that before.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like
that.
and here's the deal. Nothing really at this point is new under the sun. But the idea is to get as close as you can.
See, that's a real thing that I struggled with before. Like at first, I did not have a photographer or anybody that I looked up to or whatever. Like all of my stuff is just like they were naturally coming out of me, but they were inspired by things of my past. I really wasn't realizing was coming. You know what I mean? But when I was doing art and thinking of how I want my picture to be, all of these things, they all related to something else that was completely like non photography based, and that's what gained me my style and my direction with certain things. Like it wasn't like, oh yo, this person did this, I need to emulate it.
Right.
Like, even if I came off like I did emulate it, what happens. So I like people who are like that, even if it's like they don't know where it comes from. The fact that they are naturally making something out of their own brain, like that wasn't inspired by something, that's fire.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that I harp on is having a visual library, being able to draw from your life experiences. Because what I think is happening now is people aren't experiencing things outside of their cell phone screen, and not having enough experiences, actually going out, being able to touch something like leaves and flowers and plants and things that are outside, like chasing a bug and catching it and looking at what a butterfly looks like up close in real life. Like being able to see those things and experience those things is something that's missing, I think, a lot more in our society. And being able to use that, being able to remix from life instead of remixing from what's already been remixed, is a skill that I think a lot of people have to develop. A creative thing that you can do as an artist is read a book and then create an image from that book. You know what I mean? So if you go out and you read Ender's Game, or you go out and you read The Hobbit, or whatever, if you're a photographer, take that picture. What is the spaceship that Ender was on look like, and what does it look like?
Did you create in your head from it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
take that picture, or paint that picture, or draw that picture, or create that. You know what I mean? Just from words, take words and turn them into images. Try that. You know what I mean? Because you'll see how many images you actually have in your head, how many things you've experienced creates the amount of stuff that you have in your head. I just posted something on Facebook earlier this week, and it was about people who can't visualize things in their head. Like it had an apple, and there was like 5 different stages of the apple.
I saw that before. Yeah,
and it was like some people, like the people who were commenting under it, like on the actual meme or the picture, were like, I don't understand how people can conjure up an image of an apple out of their head out of nothing. And it's like, what do you mean you can't picture an apple?
Yeah. Like
how does that?
It's like a disorder, right? It's like a real disorder, though, right?
I don't know if it's a disorder. I don't know if it's a difference in the way that we think. I don't know if it has something to do with something else. But as an artist or as a person, like I've always been able to picture images in my head. Like I'd be able to create things in my head. And I don't know if that's just because people aren't experiencing things the way that we used to. I don't know.
It could be that, and it's just like we also just have to recognize like we are artists. Like we have fashioned ourselves a certain way. You know what I mean? Like not knowingly, but unknowingly we tailored our brains like a lot. So like when somebody says X, Y, and Z to one person, they don't see shit. They just heard what the person said. When somebody says X, Y, and Z to me, I am creating a whole fucking scenario in my brain that is making me like be there. Like
right.
Like so like some people, they come to me and they're just like, yo, I want to do this, and it's called this. And I'm like, so what does that intel, so I can then actually.
Picture.
But when they come to me and just be like, "Yeah, the name is this," and it's just like, "You just make something hot," I'm like, "Bro, that sounds sweet." Like,
Bruh, I go through it all especially wait till you get to movies. and I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but like and because I still want to bring you into some movie stuff soon. And I see this all the time where it's not even so much with that side of it, with the directors and stuff, that they're like unimaginative or anything like that. It's just they're so burnt out
Hmm.
because it's such a process to make a movie, and they spent years, whatever, months to create whatever they created. By the time they're done, they're like, dude, I just need this. I got this idea, that's about it, I'm spent, figure it the fuck out, I need something fly so we can sell this bitch. And I'm like, all right, cool, that didn't help me, but I you know what I mean. And you got to go with it.
Man, I'm big on books. I'm big on visual stuff. I've done all of the. When I was a little kid, I was always grabbing how to draw manga, how to draw
Mm.
or whatever. Like even now, like right now, I was in a thrift store and I got this book. It's called The Big Book of Logo,
Hmm.
and it was just like it's literally a book of nothing but logos. Who designed it?
Oh, dude, I've seen those books. Those are so cool. Like, oh,
I've done like a lot of. I look at a lot of what would be like trash art. Is like black exploitation type stuff, and
mm.
like art that people would be like, man, this shit is terrible, but it had like a place in my brain to make other stuff of it. Because it's like I seen this one picture that a person made where it's like they took one picture and then I could tell that they drew over it and made the little cartoon illustration, and then they took a pair of glasses, like because the dude was wearing glasses, they took a pair of the same glasses, broke the glasses, set it on top of the illustration, and then copied that. Like I don't know, ran it through a little copy machine. And then that was the piece. And I'm like, dog, I would have never even thought to do no shit like that. But like, I study shit like that more than I do like, oh man, this dude does really cool photography. Like, only other person besides David LaChapelle that I've ever taken a look at and been like, yo, this like next level is fucking Harris Newcomb. I don't know if y'all know who Harris.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
I think his shit is like fire. It's really dark, but it's really punched out colors and stuff, and it's something I gravitate toward. But like all of my shit is like really like. Hold on, I'm gonna grab like 3 books. Let me see. Movies.
Yeah, that's the same. Like I've always just been in like, and I'll talk about it when he comes back. Like fantasy art covers and stuff.
Oh, dude, like heavy metal stuff. Oh, gosh,
Just everything.
Like this trash.
Trash.
Yeah, this John is like all these like old ass movies that were like terrible, but some of the thought processes and the artwork to it was just like.
Yeah, they almost have. They really have a comic book illustration, indie kind of comic book feel to them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I study stuff like this more than anything, and like, in it because it's controversial ass art, but it's so well done that you don't even care that it's corny. Like it's really campy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's still, oh gosh,
but it still resonates.
Right, it's still really neat. Like it's
It's crazy because when I ordered, because I had found this book in a store, and then I was like trying to order a hard copy version of it, and well, this is like the follow-up book to the trash.
Ooh, that's dope.
This one's called Sexy Time. This one was like it was like before porn was an okay thing to have.
Hmm.
These niggas was just pushing the limits with like the photography that they were doing and like the illustration work and shit. So like
Nice.
they were just figuring out how much could I possibly get away with type stuff. You know what I mean?
But the crazy part is look at the design of it.
Mm.
Bro, it's
Especially compared to now. Like a lot of the design now is very lazy.
Hmm.
And like because these guys had to illustrate this by hand, they had to do a lot of stuff to create this stuff.
Hmm.
Like they went in.
Yeah, they had
Went
to
in.
because there was no template. They were the creators.
Sick. You would like oh shit. Now I'm really going back. And we'll kind of end it here because we've been going in for like 2 hours. God, what's his name? Robert, you might be able to help me. He was an indie comic book artist, like super indie, and he had a really unique style. And he did a lot of like graphic design work and stuff like that back in the day. Shoot, what is his name?
This I'm not gonna know.
Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Graphic. There's a whole documentary on him. He made a lot of like exploitation type, like porn, indie stuff, and weird shit and whatever. But then he did all this graphic design stuff that's amazing. And then they did an interview with him and they showed him like a lot of new stuff, like a lot of new current things of like 2000s and whatever. This was done back in the day. And he would just pick them apart and show why like this is shitty, this is good, and whatever. And it was so interesting to watch, like how he processed and then like determined what was good and not, and then how that held up to standard. You know what I mean? Graphic design artist.
me because Risa, she was just reading an article, Grace Jones, how she was coming at Kim Kardashian, like really just being stale version of the whole thing, especially like since she like redid the photo with the thing.
With the champagne, yeah.
Yeah, and she just was like kind of like talking about how like she was kind of upset with her husband or ex-husband for redoing the photo with Kim. But then he was just like, yo, like she could have just took the idea with anybody. At least she did it with me, but it was my idea. You know what I mean? But like, it just go to show you like, picture old as shit. I mean, like that's Grace Jones in her heyday being fuck, and for that to be like still a thing that is influencing now, like I think we're gonna have to like figure out a lot of things back in the day in order to.
What I think is really interesting, to keep on going forward. What I think is really interesting is the way concept artists get their ideas, and it's a lot less about looking at other people's artwork and a lot more about looking at how things are made. So in a concept artist library, a lot of times you're going to find stuff like encyclopedias. You're going to find stuff like World War II books about airplanes, like they just got pictures of airplanes. Things about tanks and things like I don't know, anatomy books. You know what I mean? It's a lot more medical. Just how different things like the ins and outs and how stuff works versus what people have already created. That kind of stuff is they'll like botany books. They'll look at what a flower looks like on the inside, how the cells are made up. All that kind of stuff is where creativity comes from, because you're getting it more from life and more from the design of things.
Yeah, I like people like what is it like Leonardo da Vinci. He was getting the hell out of human anatomy, arm placements, like you know what I mean. Like some people, they look at these pictures and stuff that he's done, and they just look at it like he was like trying to make some like coding or some shit, but it was really like just his notes.
It's a study.
Studies, yeah, exactly. Like he was very into like functionality, and then like how you could take what that is and then apply it to like machines and shit that he was making, because I think like he get kind of looked over for that type.
He was an inventor. Yeah.
Yeah. I found the guy. My bad. Robert Crumb.
Robert Crumb. Never heard of him.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, look up Robert Crumb. He's got tons of documentaries.
How you spell his last name? CRUMM?
CRUMB.
Okay.
Oh, yo,
Because he's influenced so many indie artists.
if either one of you want one of these books, I do have like an extra one.
Oh, hook me up.
You live close. I'll be over there. I'll grab that.
It's messed up.
But I
Oh,
got.
wow.
I don't know, cause it's that type of stuff that inspires. I know that I'm looking at old things versus what right now, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. Just wanna, even when I was doing Wiz Khalifa stuff, he got into like this really like dark stage where he was doing all these DJ scene type stuff, and all he let me drop was like all old school horror. Man, I went crazy. Like I went crazy with these illustrations. Like if you see them Jones on my page or whatever, it's just like I paid homage to like every movie I could possibly think of.
Creep Show and Tales from the Dark Side and all that.
Bro,
Nice, man.
like
It makes
The golden age of horror comics, like in the 70s, was everything. If you look at some of the artwork of that stuff and the detail and how they created some of that stuff, it's amazing, man.
yeah, that's really where I'm at with it. Like I really study that more than anything current, because it's like even if I'm going to emulate, I'm trying to build like from something that's forgotten. I don't know. You know what I mean? Versus something that in your face is like, fuck it being present, or rather it from the past. You putting it, paying homage to you.
Nice, man.
What's the thing when I did Travis on the couch? That was homage to Beavis and Butthead.
Ah, I see that.
Like a lot of people wouldn't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like some kids they never grew up watching that show. So fine. Like I'm gonna make
How old does that make us?
I don't know. Listen, yeah, that joint right there, like that bake sale cover, that was straight up from fucking Beavis and Butthead.
Jeez.
Let's get over here.
Is there?
Looks like Kev has been confirmed.
Huh?
Kevin Samuels has confirmed.
Yeah, did he pass?
Yep.
Oh wow, man. Well, hey, bro, we are up on 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I think we are past our limit. We don't want to keep you forever, dude. Because we can talk for this forever, man. I swear.
For real.
We can seriously go in.
We need
bro,
to. Man, we need to host a meetup or something soon, man. Like,
yeah,
get some of these.
Well,
dope
I'm gonna
artists
get
together.
Robert to come out here to Philly soon because I don't think he's really been to Philly like that. Robert's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I haven't been out there hardcore. Like I was out there once. I got some cheesesteaks, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's sick. This kind of works out because you guys go to Ohio. It's no problem for us to stop by Pittsburgh, see Robert, hang out with him in his studio, and then tail down to Ohio. He's literally Ohio's like what, less than an hour?
It's 2 hours from here to Columbus, I believe.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So we all got to link up, bro. I got the new Jeep, buddy. We can get the top down and have fun the whole way. Man. So yeah, we all gonna do the thing, man. But yeah, I 100%. Appreciate you, bro, for coming on the show, man. Thank you so much. I know you're busy and everything else. Say what's up to Reza, of course. And yo, man, thank you for your time, bro, and everything. And keep doing what you're doing, bro. You are influencing like crazy. Seriously, man. I look up to you as well as everybody else.
100%.
Keep doing your thing, man. And we all gonna link up soon. And tell Reese for sure. We're gonna be doing an interview with her in a couple months. Usually the way we do it is Rob's got a couple interviews coming up. Then it switches back to me, and then I'll be bringing on some people, and we'll go from there. So yeah, man, keep doing your thing, bruh, for sure.
Let me know this, because like I said, I do got them books for you. Like first come, first serve. Whoever grab with you.
I'll be through. I'm grabbing that first. I'm gonna come through the studio too, man, and do a shoot. So For sure. Yo, tell Reese for especially, man, like for all of us to get together, her and Nina, because I know like she hasn't shot with Nina in a long time, and like Nina's like the same size. So we gotta all do something again for sure soon. Because I like the last time her and Nina came out, we did like a workshop and like I let everybody else shoot and so forth. So we definitely got to do something, man.
I'm with it. Just let me know when, bro. Let me know.
Right on. So all right, bro. Sign out. Thanks for coming in, bro. Appreciate you so much, man.
Man,